Good afternoon. My name is Gael Armando Salazar Rodríguez, and I'm going to talk about a very special trip I took with my family. It was in July 2012 when my family and me traveled to Cancun, Quintana Roo. It was many years ago. I was 7, and it was the most amazing experience I had. So, let me tell you about this incredible adventure. This trip was really important to me because I was full of first time experiences. It was my first time flying on a plane and my first time seeing the ocean and well that I remembered, and also my first time visiting a place full of nature and Mexican culture like Xcaret. That time I went to Cancun with my family. It was the first time I had ever taken a plane, and I was so excited. I really liked it. It feels like you were floating, and if a giant were coming to me and were grabbing on the plane. When we arrived at Cancun, the weather was hot and humid, but I was already amazed by everything I saw. While we were talking near our hotel, I noticed some iguanas crawling around the garden. I had never seen iguanas before in real life. I only in books or on TV. They were bigger than I expect. They looked calm and mysterious. I couldn't stop staring at them. Later, we went to the beach, and I was so happy because it was also my first time visiting a real beach. I had only been to swimming pools before, so when I stepped into the sea, I felt something completely different. The waves were moving constantly, and the water was salty and warm. It was very different from pool water. It tastes strange, but the experience was good. I was laughing and playing with my brother while the waves were pushing us gently. One of the most exciting parts of the trip was visiting Xcaret, which is an eco archaeological park filled with nature, animals, and cultural shows. We spent an entire day there. One of the first activities we did was scuba diving, and I have to admit, I was a little nervous. I don't know how to swim, but the staff helped us put on the diving gear and explain everything clearly. The equipment felt heavy, and the underground river was extremely cold and deep. But I was impressed by what I saw underwater: colorful fish, corals, and even some underwater caves. While we were walking around the park, we saw a group of tourists feeding small sharks. I stood there watching them for a long time. I was both terrifying and fascinating. The sharks were swimming slowly, and the tourists were dropping food into the water carefully. I had never seen anything like that before. In the evening, we attended a cultural show called Scarlet Mexico Espectacular. It was absolutely amazing. Uh, there were dancers wearing traditional costumes from different regions of Mexico, and they performed dances that represent each culture. The music was lively and emotional, and the lights made the whole show feel like a magical experience. We also saw the famous Danza de los Danza de los Voladores de Pampantla. While the performance was happening, I was wondering how they were able to spin and fly the air like that without falling. I think if I went up there with them, I would die of fear. It looked so dangerous, but also very beautiful and symbolic. It made me appreciate the rich traditions of Mexico even more. During our visit, we also saw a giant, colorful macaws flying freely around the park. They were making loud, unique sounds, and their feathers were shining under the sun. It felt like we were in the middle of a tropical jungle, but they looked so beautiful. Later, we went up a very tall tower that looked like an elevator. It slowly moved upward and gave us a panoramic view of the beach, the jungle, and the entire park. It was a quiet moment where I felt peaceful and amazed by nature. For real, one of the best parts of the trip was the food. We went to several restaurants such as Rosa Negra and La Joya, uh, where we ate delicious dishes. I tried seafood and I really liked it. Everything was well cooked, full of flavor, and the places looked fancy and elegant. We also had tropical drinks and desserts that I had never tried before. We saw some enormous sea turtles. They were huge in a protected area. They were swimming slowly and they looked so calm and beautiful. I have only seen turtles in small aquariums, but these ones were much bigger and majestic. This trip to Quintana Roo was one of the most unforgettable experiences of my life. I did so many things for the first time, and I enjoyed every moment. I want to come back there someday, and that's trip uh, about all about my trip to Cancun. Bye.